Just a reminder, we're on this series based on the koshas that's reminiscent of the Russian stackable dolls. We're on the fifth and final layer this week, which is Anandamaya kosha, which is the layer of bliss. It's when you drop inside to that layer where you experience innate joy, a feeling of ecstasy that's not determined or a result of anything that's happened from the external. And we're going to use our yin practice today to try to drop in below the surface and use our breath as a way to get there. Remember, the breath layer is between the mind and the body, and it has an influence upon both. And that breath can actually take us beyond the mind into this place of Ananda. I love that name, Ananda. I was actually trained initially in Ananda yoga, which is Bliss yoga. So I'm excited about the topic this week, mainly because of that reason. So I'm going to meet you on the mat. We're going to start off in that yin form of corpse, which is like, they call it pentacle pose, like star pose, where the legs are splayed, the arms are overhead. However, once you recline on your mat, if the back of your hands don't touch the floor and it's causing an aggravation in your shoulder, or it's just too tight in this connective tissue, of course you can bring the arms down to a degree that's going to feel good to you, because we're going to be there for a little bit. All right, I'll meet you there. So I would take the feet wider than hip width and the hands wider than shoulder width. Close the eyes. At the beginning point of each yoga practice, we take time to center. We're trying to center the mind so the mind's not running away. We attempt to get grounded into the body so that we're more connected as we move. And at the same time, we're trying to build a connection to the true self or the heart. And the breath is the perfect way to do all of those things. So go ahead and begin your conscious breath work. Slowly and deeply breathing in and out through the nose, unless, of course, you need to use your mouth. Checking in with the body to see how it feels today, so that you know what you're working with. Tune in to the level of your energy to know what you're working with. Today is a new moon in Aries. March 31st in some places, April 1st in others. I think I accidentally was calling it the full moon yesterday. So the new moon is when energy is a little bit more low key. You may feel like you're dragging, not as ambitious, maybe needing to take rest or slow down. So today truly is the perfect day for yin. Now we're going to start off with banana asana. So you're going to slide your left foot over to join your right, and you're going to curve the upper body to the right. Now, even though we're swaying the body in that direction, similar to the shape of a banana or crescent moon, don't get too forceful. Don't try to be too dynamic. When you feel the stretch, that's enough. If you find that you cannot breathe, you're doing too much. Now, I know a lot of yin instructors advise crossing one foot over the other. I am not a fan of that because that can disrupt circulation. But to each their own. So if you prefer that, you have the right to add it in. Notice the emphasis in your left lung. Even though you're breathing into both, you have this grand opening on the left side. You may be able to feel that lung inflate more, deflating on the out breath. When you study energetic anatomy, according to the yogic tradition, they talk about three main channels: the Ida, the Pingala, the Sushumna. Now, the Ida travels up the left side from the pelvic floor to the third eye. The Pingala travels from the third eye down the right side towards the pelvic floor. The Ida is considered feminine, the Pingala considered masculine. One is sometimes dominant over the other. But through our practice and through our breath work and through our mental focus, we try to magnetize the Sushumna channel at the center, the central channel that is resemblance to the astral spine. Like when the chakras are in alignment and balanced, giving us a feeling of harmony, equanimity. On your next in breath, go ahead and come back to that star position. And as you relax here, keep the eyes closed. Feel that surge of energy still running through the left side. Let it integrate. It's okay that we take pauses in yin because it's meant to be sloth-like. Now slide your right foot over to the left. Curve the upper body the same direction. We'll open up this area that is said to hold the Pingala channel. So the Ida is like the in-breath, the Pingala is like the out-breath. Don't be alarmed if the two sides are fairly different or extremely different. That's okay. Feel that right lung balloon. Feel the ribcage expand. And then feel it soften. Think about that scientific term, everything that expands must contract. It even shows up in the body. On the next in-breath, create your star position. Pausing, paying attention. Surfing through the layers of your being. Walk the feet closer together and inhale, sail the left leg up in the air. Clasp a hold of the back of your thigh. And remember, if you ever have a hard time catching the leg here, you can always use a strap. Sole of the foot is facing upward. Keep shining it in that direction. Your right leg can stay relaxed. If you're more limber, you're welcome to slide your hands up to your calf or lace the peace mudra around the big toe. But it's not necessary. And then we're just going to wave the leg side to side, not too far, not very dramatic. Leaning it left to right, just a few inches one way, maybe a ruler's distance the other way. Then when you return to stillness, maybe then testing your edge, see if your body opened up more. Now, if your hands are slid up to the calf or toe, bring them back behind your thigh and hug that knee in towards your chest. And then see if you can reach your hands up to hold your shin and calf, or potentially reaching up to hold the foot. And you are pulling the knee towards the chest, allowing the thigh to compress into the belly. Keep breathing. I'm actually having a hard time breathing. My allergies have been out of control and I haven't had time to go get medicine. So I'm sorry, I'm a little nasally and sniffly today. All right, we're going to take it from this segment of the hip and we're going to let the knee slip off away from the chest, down to your left side into half happy baby. Happy baby pose actually is Ananda Balasana, so even the turn of the name holds the name Bliss. So the actual translation is blissful baby. In active yoga, we usually fire up the straight leg. Don't worry about that today, since we're being yin or passive. Check the condition of this side. And remember, the breath is the best way to go beyond the body, beyond the sensation, beyond any thoughts or emotions, to find that layer of bliss. Now let's slide the right foot back and release the left foot so the ankle bone can cross over the thigh bone. Eye of the needle pose. So you're welcome to be here, or you can pick up the right foot and bring it in towards that half pigeon position. And I don't always mention this because it really depends on your knees. But if you wanted to swap your hand position to the front of the shin and hug in, it takes it to a different level. Anytime you're having trouble breathing through the nose, just simply breathe through your mouth. Even though holding these positions can sometimes get unsettling or slightly uncomfortable, it's training and teaching us to stay calm and poised regardless. Doesn't mean you're going to cross the threshold of pain or strain. It just means you can sit with the discomfort. Few more breaths. And release. All right, lengthen your left leg, then your right. Take a quick corpse pose. Feel the difference, especially from your left side of your sacrum and hip down. Maybe it feels more lively, maybe more heavily sedated. But there is quite a difference. Now let's send the right leg up. Catch it with your hands or strap. I usually get a different feeling in the stretch with hands versus the strap at the foot that we sometimes do. So I like doing both. Feel free to slide the hands up higher. As long as it doesn't prohibit your breathing. Let the foot face the sky. And start to wave the leg. If you feel a tight spot along the way in either direction, feel free to stay. Returning to center. Maybe playing that initial edge. And then bend that right knee and pull it in towards the chest. From here, walk your hands up to hold your shin, gently pulling it down to your body, or taking a hold of the foot, applying that same principle. Now let the right knee slip off to the right. Half Ananda Balasana. Focus now on the right side. You're going to feel your weight kind of tilting in that direction. Don't worry about it. If we were being active, I would give you a different instruction. I don't necessarily like to look at yin as being sloppy or lazy, but those terms are kind of coming up into my head. It's not that it's sloppy or lazy. We're just doing a different approach for a different intention. Now slide your left foot back. Take that foot over across that knee. Pick up the left foot if you wish to go deeper. And if you clasp a hold behind the knee, just let the left foot flop. And then dependent, of course, on the knee, you can determine whether or not you want to actually take the shin. You're in control of how much or little you draw in. Find where you feel it. Several more breaths. And release. Come back to a mini corpse position here. And Notice it's more evened out. Inhale, stretch your arms overhead. Exhale, hug a hold of both knees, but this time they're knit together. Asana. And then roll to one side of your body. We're going to come up to toe balance. Resting on the balls of the feet, palms stationed to the knees, sending the spine upward, softening the shoulders downward, gazing at one spot. Stretching out the toes, the feet, fascia of the feet. Then place your hands to prayer. Lift the mudra over your crown. Now bring the hands between the knees and slowly descend down to your shins and feet. Your hands are going to turn and spin to face you, resting on the wrist. A form of Simhasana, lion's pose. If you can't close your eyes, pay attention to your mouse hand and that tight thread of tissue coming up the forearm. Since we're in lion's pose, we'll take a lion's breath. Inhale through the nose. Exhale, expel the tongue, breathe out through the mouth. Spin the hands around, curl your toes under, lift your knees off the floor, ground your heels, bend your knees. Take dangling pose. Shimmy your head from side to side. Clasp a hold of your arms or wrist. And dangle. Focus on your longer exhalations. Now we're going to lace the hands behind the base of the skull and let the elbows just droop. We're not pulling the head. We're just bringing a little bit more traction to the neck. And then wrap your arms behind your legs if you can, or catch your wrists. You can always slide them down the calves. Three more big breaths. And then we'll ground the hands and step back, downward facing dog. Pressing into the hands and the feet, soaring high through your seat. We're going to inhale, descend the knees. Exhale, come forward onto the belly. But we're going to walk the hands out in front of us. Hands are wider than shoulder width. Feet are wider than hip width. For seal. Pubic bone being the primary foundation. Now, this may be too much for your back or system today. That's okay. You can come to Sphinx arms or drop to prayer hands. So don't feel like you have to stay elevated. I did that one earlier, so I just want to change it up. You can do either one. Remember, in this variation of the end, Sphinx, you can always bow your head and kind of lean your head to one shoulder or the other. That's going to make my allergies worse, so I'm going to keep my head up. Promoting more prana to the heart. Back bends are a mood enhancer. It can uplift our spirit. So if you're ever going through a period of depression or sadness or loneliness or isolation, remember that. And give yourself a pick-me-up. Remember, if still gets too taxing, you don't have to stay in it just because you got into that pose first. You can always lower. If you're starting to feel stronger in Sphinx, you can always lift up higher. We're going to return to downward facing dog. So in this case, we need to bring the feet closer together. We can roll towards the chest just enough to push up to table, and then we can curl the toes and land back in down dog. Few breaths here. Lengthening on the inhale, relaxing into the pose on the exhale. Then descend to your knees. Untuck the toes. Shift your hips and thighs forward, hands to the waist or low back, and take camel. Now you can be gentle or fierce with this pose. I'm going to be gentle today, but you can always drop your hands to your feet. It's a big, bold back bend. From camel, let's go ahead and lift up. We're going to come to cat stretch. So hands down, scoop the belly in, and arch up. Let your head hang free as you puff through the shoulder blades. And then inhale, flatten the back. Walk your right leg over to the side. Flip your left palm open and take this variation of thread the needle. If you need something to prop up underneath your head or shoulder, you could add in like a toss pillow or a blanket. The right foot stays stationed down as that leg extends away. And please know if that is too much for your body, you can always lower the right knee and do it the regular way. Unthread the left arm. And you're going to sit back like child's, keeping that right leg out to the side. Now, you can be on the top of the foot. You can also have the toes tucked. You can be on Sphinx arms. You can be in prayer hands. Or you can mimic child's pose with the arms outstretched. The head may or may not touch down. Inhale, rock back up. Lower the right knee. Extend your left leg. Flip your right palm and loop it underneath. Again, if that's too much, just bring the left knee down. No problem. Inhale, unwind from that. And then sit back towards your back heel. And remember, any of these arm positions could work. See what the effect is of your body and cater to that. Use it to the layer of discernment and decide from that layer of wisdom. And remember, we're still trying to move towards the bliss body. All right, inhale, let's rock forward. Exhale, bring the left knee down. Bring your right forearm down. Send your left arm out in front and do a half melting heart. Your belly's dipping, your heart's melting, shoulder drooping. Right, inhale, lift the head up, left arm in front, right arm outstretched. Take melting heart to the other arm. Belly sinking, heart melting, head resting. Stay with your breath. And on your next inhale, walk yourself back to tabletop position. And from there, we're going to inhale, splay the arms up overhead to diamond. Exhale, clasp a hold of your left wrist behind your back and lower to your left cheek or temple. And then inhale is going to bring you back to diamond. Exhale, take your right hand and lower to the right temple. And do this a couple more times, alternating hands and face. The next time you pour down to the right cheek, come to your brow, lower the arms beside your legs. Full Balasana. Feeling the breath ripple up and down alongside the vertebrae. Take a cleansing breath in through the nose, out through the mouth. And slowly build up. So if you want a heart opener today, you can bring in the bolster. If you would rather be on your back and have the bolster under your knees, that's fine too. Once you strike the pose of your choice, this is where we're going to try to breathe into the bliss body. Now, the point of the postures is to try to rinse out the restless nature of the mind and body. That we're more purified, to be able to dive to the depths below. It's like we're trying to clear it out, you know? It's always better to swim in the sea where you can see the floor, the ocean floor, versus being in a murky ocean where you can't see your feet, right? And you're wondering what's under there. So that's the point of trying to clear out so we can gain a first-hand experience of this layer of ecstasy within. The yogis say it takes a lot of inner work and years of spiritual practice before you actually even touch this layer. So you may or may not be ready for it, but hopefully you've caught a glimpse of it. I'm going to let you be in silence to find it now. When you're ready, begin to deepen the flow of your breath. Take time to maneuver and bring movement to your hands and feet. No worries if you arrive to your bliss body or not. Some days we do, some days we don't. But go ahead and begin to join me in a comfortable seat. Sitting upright. Hopefully feeling as though your mind and your heart have expanded. Join your hands to prayer position at your heart. The light, the love that I hold within my heart bows humbly and respectfully to the beauty of the light and the love that you hold within yours. Namaste.